got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got a peace like a river in my soul. I got a peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul.
Woo! That is good stuff. Well, as you can see, I've got the wonderful Leslie Woods here, and we engineered this talk when we were talking about how are we going to dive into this Sunday, the end of June. We have this desire to have multi-generational services, and so we're like, with COVID and all this happening, we don't know. So what we decided to do was ask 5 congregants to give us an interview on what is it for you to live your authentic life. And they poured their wisdom and joy, and we're all going to get to celebrate that. And isn't it wonderful that we can live an authentic life?
It is absolutely wonderful. And when we were watching these ahead of time, I kept thinking of how each person connected with unity philosophy and our teachings and how it relates to following our way shower Jesus. And if you need unity in a nutshell in about 10 minutes, this is the place. These are the videos to watch. And we're going to start off with Sophia Mings.
The thing that helps me the most to live my authentic life is trusting my instincts. I think your gut feeling is God telling you what's meant for you and what's not meant for you. So if an opportunity arises, I know that my gut will tell me whether it's meant for me or not. And if it's not meant for me, then I don't do it. And I've established like a reputation in my life that if I don't want to do something and everybody else wants me to do it, I will just leave. And if the people in my life don't like that, then they don't have to be in my life. I don't owe anybody an explanation. Yeah. That also, living like that has put people in my life who do love me no matter what I do. So, which helps me be more authentic, having people who actually care about me helps me be authentic. And something else that helps me be authentic is being comfortable with being uncomfortable and a little bit afraid. I think the things that you're going to enjoy the most in life, the things that are going to be the most rewarding and fulfilling are intimidating. And I think it will always be like that. The things that are going to be the most fulfilling are never going to be easy or comfortable. That's why they're fulfilling. So I try to do something that scares me at least once a week. Yeah, that just helps me push past my comfort zone, broaden my life, make me have more fun, and just grow as a person. So, yeah. Oh, also, something that helps me be authentic is I've always had a community, which is y'all, unity, and my parents. I've always had a community that is accepting, that never made me just try to repress something that I was thinking about. I've always been able to openly talk about whatever I was thinking or feeling. So thank y'all, because that y'all teaching me to be myself and just to not repress anything really set me up for life and allowed me to be comfortable with cutting off relationships that aren't healthy or just going after the things that I actually want, because I have a community that's going to support me no matter what I do. So thank y'all.
Isn't it magnificent to hear these words coming from Sophia, who grew up right here in Unity, and how she's embodied these powerful principles to know that life isn't always easy, but if we can step into what we know needs to be done, it may not be comfortable, but when we move through it, it will be so fulfilling. And I love that.
It's so true. And speaking as a youth and family ministry director and parent, you wonder, like when they're little, is all the stuff I'm trying to teach them to grow and be able to have the best life, most authentic life, do they get it? And let me tell you, they get it. Sophia gets it, and Zeta Sanchez gets it as we hear her story.
I'm doing Canier High School soon.
That is so exciting.
I'm taking my class. I'm taking is sign language and swimming and art.
Beautiful.
I'm grateful of my family, all my friends, and all my cousins. I love that. Yeah, I'm just really grateful for the church we had, and I love all of my family so much, and they're like supporting and nice to me, all that stuff.
One of the things that's deeply touched my heart is how we've missed these youth growing up in this COVID time, sitting with Zeta, seeing her blossom into this beautiful young woman, not in our sight because we've been in that sheltered place. But it's wonderful to hear her wisdom. And she's always been a testament of someone who lives her life by love and gratitude.
Always. Every Sunday, when the kids would come up and they talk about what they learned back there, love, gratitude was the top of the list for Zeta. And it reminds me every week that when you live that gratitude, it's authentic and real, and it brings nothing but good your way. And so now we hear the wonderful wisdom that someone who's always grateful is Miss Joan Kemple.
Well, when I'm not true to myself, I feel like God's hitting me over the head with a 2x4. So there's no question. And then I have to decide, is it God's way or my way? And the decision is very easy. And so then I get back on my path and proceed. And myself has evolved, as everybody's has. But I grew up in that era of children who should be seen and not heard, and don't speak till you're spoken to. And my husband told me, he said, I got over that very well. And I've been talking ever since. But there's a peace and a joy. And as it would move sometimes, as a situation would move, or a crisis, then I would feel a tightening. And then I would know it to again release, let go, let God. But you mentioned the nature sanctuary, and I want to put in a little personal note there. I feel I have an incredible gift. Throughout most of my life, I've had ideas, I've seen things that could happen, and I've seen things that could be done. And I always knew just the right person to delegate it to. And they would take off and run, as Kelly and Roxana have done with this, but as people have done all through my life, just to see them, oh yeah, and they have all the little details. And it's beautiful to see that happen. I'm very fortunate. When Reagan decided to close the institutions and to have I was especially interested in those with disabilities, because my oldest daughter is that category, and that they would go into the community and be absorbed. That didn't work. And at the time, I knew of a daycare center that was being sold, but nobody was buying it. So I contacted a friend of mine who was a caseworker with the mentally, physically injured, and said, what do you think about this as a center for them, a place they can come and do their laundry and engage with each other, and in the cases where they could sing or play cards, learn how to balance checkbooks. She said, I think that's a good idea. and so came BJ's Center. My life, I feel, took such a positive turn when I discovered unity. As a child, I was a pessimist because I figured if you think the worst is going to happen and then something good happens, it'll be fine, rather than you expecting something good and it goes bad. But I learned from unity of our thoughts become actions, and of the advantage of affirmative affirmations, positive affirmations. And it's made a tremendous difference in the quality of my life.
I have to say that just watching these videos and being with these people for those interviews, I love them so much. Each of them are heroes and heroines, a testament to how powerful each of us are. And as we align with that power we are, there's nothing we can't do. It's really fabulous.
It is fabulous. And I have to tell a little story about this week. This is how in tune Joan is with getting the ideas out there. I come to my desk and I find this note that says, it'd be really nice if we had the weekly schedule in the bulletin so we would know. And so I told Joan, because she missed last week and didn't see it in there, and I said, you didn't even have to speak it. All you had to do was think it. And then I get it and poof, it happens. Which is good. And speaking of living your true authentic self and honing in on your gifts, Quentin Walker.
So if you don't know, I've been off living in Chicago, taking acting classes and eating dish pizza and never drinking any water, and I am so happy. I am so happy. And I have never felt more secure in my future than when I started doing things that I wanted to do. That I graduated with high school with a lot of people who just wanted to go and get degrees or certifications and things that they didn't really care about, and they weren't really think that they would be happy doing, but it's a guarantee, or someone else wants them to do it, or there's safety in it. And I thought, no, I don't want to do that, actually, at all. And luckily I had very supportive parents in this endeavor, but I decided I was going to move 1,200 miles away to a city I had been to once ever when I was a child, to live alone, and take acting classes, being an acting major and a stage combat minor. Now, if you don't know what stage combat is, that's pretend sword fighting. It's learning how to attack people with swords, sticks, your hands, without actually hurting them, but making it look like you hurt them, you know? So that's what I'm doing. I am pretending to be someone else while pretending to sword fight and pretending to know what I'm doing. And it's so much fun. And it's so me. And I am so much more excited for my future and the possibilities that my future holds than I have ever been before. Because I didn't want to do what other people think that I should do.
There's wisdom, and there's a whole lot of courage that Quentin had to do to strike out on his dream, not knowing how it was going to outpicture. Of course, he's standing there saying, I'm full of joy, but that's not after he hasn't done all of that work and getting a place to live and making the contention and going to college when COVID is happening. I mean, how do you combat when I don't know, but there's a mystery in it all. But what a blessing it is that he shared his joy of doing exactly what he knows he's to do.
It's so true. And when I'm looking back in my world and I'm doing what I love to do, what I was called to do right here and right now, but when I was in my 20s and knew that was what I wanted to do, there was an obstacle, a roadblock in the way where I was going to church. I wasn't allowed to be because of who I am. So if there's somebody out there that you have that thing, that passion, that whatever it is, and there appears to be roadblocks because they're not real, they just appear to be, go around them, go over them, do whatever you need to do to get you where you need to be. And along the way, you will have people that will encourage you. And one of the best encouragers I know is Dr. Phyllis Burgess.
I have been asked to speak on living an authentic life. And let me just say that that is a very, very rewarding journey. It is not always an easy journey, but it's a rewarding journey. And for me, that means living the life that I came here to live and doing those things and being involved in those things that are very important to me, and living with all that life entails. And that means the things that are good and the things that may not feel so good, but it's all a part of the journey. For me, living an authentic life includes friends, it includes family, it includes laughter, dancing, travel, hugs, just so many things that it would just be too many to name. So let me just say that I hope that you also strive to live an authentic life, because that's the way to go. So here's to living an authentic life.
It is a blessing. And we've heard the call. Because if these 5 people have found living an authentic life is good for them, they're just mirrors of us. Because one thing that we have in common is the value of powerful principles that guide our lives, that open us to what is this moment to be. And if there's a light in us, if there's a nudge, if there's like something pulling us to be a little better, a little more in integrity, a little more honest, or just be willing to listen, then we're in the right time with the right people at the right place right now. And that's something we can be grateful for.
It is, and since one of Dr. Phyllis's ways of being truly authentic is hugs, and by the way, if you not had a hug from Dr. Phyllis, best hugs ever. And so I want to bring us into a time of meditation where we can experience a hug from Spirit. If you'll get comfortable in your seats and listen as the Unity Singers bring us into that moment.
May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you. Guide your way on. Guide your
Let's just take a deep breath in and release. And let's focus for a moment and listen what God nudge is headed your way to express your authentic self. And as you vision yourself doing and being your true authentic self, whatever it may be, imagine yourself doing it with the determination of knowing and feeling what is right for you in your gut, the same way Sophia does. And as you're doing that, imagine that you are expressing an abundance of love and gratitude, like Zeta does. And imagine you being completely open to divine ideas. And when you're open to them, they come flooding in, and you have all that you need at your fingertips to help you through being your true, authentic self, like Joan does. And imagine in your true, authentic self that you are exuberant with joy and fun and excitement, like Quentin is. And imagine yourself fully passing through any obstacles, any rough times, to live your full self, to embrace everyone, like Dr. Phyllis does. And at this moment, we give thanks for the oneness that we are, so that we can see ourselves in others, and others can see themselves in us, as we are all one, living our true, authentic self. Take a last deep breath in and out, and bring your awareness back to the room. You may wiggle in your seat a little bit, open your eyes, and we'll have an affirmation together. I'll say it once, and then I'll lead you in repeating it twice with me. I discover and express my true self. Together, I discover and express my true self. Once more, I discover and express my true self. So it is.
Step out on the water, release your faith. Every step is stronger. Step out on the water.